And welcome to another show of our Reader's Corner. Nothing like a good book. And this one, well, it's a little different, fellas, and you're going to enjoy it, I'll tell you now. This book reveals the secrets to male health and well-being. So my question is, what does a successful and healthy life look like? How can men maximize their health to live their best lives? More importantly, on a man's life's journey, what changes are needed to build a mind and body that will help him develop health, strength, and vigor? Well, Dr. Judson Brandeis, in his straightforward and compelling guide to men's health, it's called The 21st Century Man, it addresses these questions and a heck of a lot more, and so many more, in fact, while providing a clear roadmap for maximizing men's health. Welcome, Dr. Brandeis.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Well, you ask, what is the journey of life for a man? I mean, each of us are born with individual gifts and walks and a unique life path of hardship and opportunity. With mindfulness and determination, we all have the chance, really, to become the hero of our own story. So, needless to say, why did you write The 21st Century Man? I mean, what inspired you to write it?
You know, really my patients inspired me to write it. So I'm a board-certified urologist, but I shifted from general urology to sexual medicine and male rejuvenation. And I see men in their 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, and these are really good men. They take care of their families, they take care of their job, they take care of their communities, but they don't know how to take care of themselves. And so when they're in their midlife, they come in to see me because they put on weight or they've lost muscle, or their testosterone's low, they've lost their libido, they've lost their ability to get an erection. And it's because they've really neglected themselves at the expense of others, and they don't really know how to take care of themselves. And so I was really compelled to write a book to help men, and my patients in particular, learn how to help themselves.
Well, I mean, what motivated you in the first place and drew you toward the field of urology and men's health?
So, you know, I started out really interested in kidney transplantation. So I worked at American Red Cross for Harold T. Merriman, who discovered how to freeze blood. Mm-hmm. And then I worked at Harvard Medical School in the lab where they did the first living-related kidney transplant that they won the Nobel Prize for. And so I was fascinated with the kidney and kidney transplantation, which led me to urology. And then in urology, I did some really fascinating things. I helped pioneer surgical robotics. I helped pioneer MRI-guided prostate biopsies, kidney stone centers. And about 2-3 years ago, I really became fascinated with regenerative treatments for erectile dysfunction. Mm. So it's not enough to just take a pill or a supplement because those wear off. But if we could regenerate the blood flow to the penis, that really is a home run.
Well, there's a lot of stuff out there today that they're flogging, aren't they? You know, saying this is the one to take. You know, Doc, you've got decades of experience as a urologist, a surgeon, research, educator, and men's health specialist. So it would be fair to say that you are intimately familiar with the challenges men face as they age. And helping men to meet these challenges and optimize their health inspires your commitment, it seems, to clinical research, as you say, compassionate patient care, and education of other physicians. I mean, is there an end goal for you with this work, perhaps?
Yeah, really. I want to help men understand how to take care of themselves and inspire them to take care of themselves. So there are a number of threads running through the book, and one of them is the hero's journey. So most men know enough to know not to eat too much, not to drink too much, not to smoke, not to do drugs, make sure that they exercise every day, maybe do some stretching, do some meditation. But so many men actually don't follow through on those things. And the problem is men don't see their own lives as a hero's journey. They look at Tiger Woods or Tom Brady or Mick Jagger. But if you see your own life as a hero's journey and you can be a hero to your own family or your own workplace or your own community, you're much less likely to make some of the stupid decisions that we all make that end up causing problems.
So, Doc, what do you think is the biggest health challenge facing American men?
I think it's just self-motivation.
How do you personally define health then?
How do I personally define health? Well, the book really defines health in a couple of different ways. First of all, what I find is that most men, if they feel good, if they feel like they look good, and they're having good sex, they're happy. So the goal of the book really is to help men understand how to feel good, how to look good, and how to have good sex. But there's physical health, and we have a tremendous number of chapters by national experts on heart health and how to avoid cancer, diabetes, stroke, infectious disease, avoiding accidents, you name it. There's lifestyle health, and we have some really great chapters on lifestyle health. There's also emotional health. We have amazing chapters on depression, anxiety, work-life balance, vitality. And then there's relationship health. And we have amazing chapters by therapists and divorce attorneys that talk about relationship health. And in fact, there was a study at Harvard called the Harvard Longevity Study, where they followed men for 75 years. Men, their families, their children's children. And what they found was the quality of a man's relationships was the most important factor in determining his overall physical health and enjoyment of life. So it's not just enough to focus on physical health. You have to focus on the entire life's journey.
Well,
that's what makes this book so unique, is that it really covers every aspect, and it talks about men's health in terms of a partnership, right? You have a partnership with your spouse. So what can your spouse do to help you take care of yourself? And it talks about how to work with your physician.
Well,
I think that's what really is unique about this book, is that there was a study by Cerner. It's a large medical record company that found that doctors spend 16 minutes and 14 seconds with their patients.
Yeah, it's not like the old days, that's for sure. Well, John Kelly of the Detroit Free Press, he gives you 5 stars. Says an encyclopedic guide to feeling good, living well, and looking better for any 21st century man. Folks, I'm speaking with Dr. Judson Brandeis, author of his book, The 21st Century Man. And as you've heard him say, there's a lot in it that covers many, many areas. And it comes advice from 50 top doctors involved, men's health experts, to help you feel great, look good, have better sex. You expand the reach of your educational efforts beyond physicians and your patients. And this provides a guidebook, really, for all men on how to live better, healthier lives. So what did you learn when you began training physicians, for an example, in sexual medicine?
What I really learned was that sexual medicine is the early warning sign for problems with circulation. And erectile dysfunction, the development of erectile dysfunction, predates cardiovascular disease by about 5 or 10 years. So say you're a 50 or a 52-year-old man and you begin to develop erectile dysfunction, you know that the arteries to the penis are 1 or 2 millimeters, and the arteries to the heart are 3 to 4 millimeters. So you're going to clog the arteries that are 1 or 2 millimeters long before you clog the arteries that are 3 to 4 millimeters. And so if you don't take the development of erectile dysfunction seriously and begin to change your lifestyle, exercise more, eat better, watch your cholesterol, stop smoking, don't drink too much, make sure you get into the gym, 5-10 years, you're going to find yourself with a lot bigger problem. So it's really an awareness of the fact that erectile dysfunction is a proxy for cardiovascular disease. That's a critical aspect, and we talk a lot about those kind of things in the book.
21st century man. You say, really, Doc, it's up to us to take charge of our health, which, it is, isn't it? In the same way that preventive maintenance can extend the life of your car like thousands of extra miles, managing your physical, mental, and emotional health can prevent a great many of conditions and injuries that lead to poor performance and, of course, illness. So the goal, I guess, is to manage your health in a way that avoids health issues or catches them while they are still minor problems. And, you mentioned a lot before of what we should be doing. And you can get too busy, can't you? Life is too busy. Life gets in the way. This too busy with this, too busy with that. work, family, this, that. You forget to look after oneself. You know, you frame the 21st century man around the age-old theme of the hero's journey. What do you think keeps most men from reaching their true potential?
Yeah, that's a really fascinating question about what keeps men back. And if you read the Joseph Campbell book or you read the chapter, you see that there are so many things that can get in the way and so many different stages of life. But I think, in a way, it's really the determination to maximize your potential. And for those who are really determined to maximize the potential, the gifts that God gives all of us, those are the ones that will complete their hero's journey and sort of achieve a wisdom and an internal contentness that they've done everything that they could in life for themselves, for their family, for their community. And the end of the book really has 4 amazing chapters. One is Inspiration, written by Brian Bandmiller, who's a national news correspondent. Another is called Gratitude by Bernie Churchill, who's an amazing pediatric urologist and surgeon. And then A Legacy, written by Larry Bianati. What have we done when we're all done? How are people going to remember us? And then I write the final chapter, which is The Journey Continues. And I intentionally kept myself out of the book until the very last chapter, where I describe my own hero's journey.
Well, you say, Doc, that in the United States and globally for that matter, men are generally not good at utilizing primary care services. Many men don't bother to get checkups, which is sobering. I mean, what keeps men from taking care of themselves and engaging in preventive health care? You're a physician, surgeon, teacher, leader. You see an awful lot. What principles help guide you in each of these roles? What drove you? And how do your interests in research, education, and care all tie in together?
Yeah, I'm very proactive about my own health and about the health of my patients, because it's a lot easier to prevent a problem than it is to fix a problem. Especially, if you have a car, you can just swap out an engine or swap out a tire. But in a body, you can't do that. And so it's really important for men to understand that they have to take care of themselves in their 30s and 40s and 50s in order for the 60s and 70s and 80s to be enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And what I tell my patients when I see them every day is I give them a roadmap that's based on sophisticated testing and the best diagnostic science and the best treatment science that's out there, but it's really up to them. I'm not going to follow them home and remind them to exercise or don't eat this or don't eat that. It's educating yourself, but then taking that education and really acting on it.
You did right. You did right. Let me ask you this: which of these is more important in maximizing health? Genetic risk factors or overall lifestyle? And why is that so?
Yeah. I think it's almost 50-50. And there are genetic factors that will then become activated if you drink too much or if you smoke too much. Say you have a genetic predisposition to alcoholism and you know that. Well, then you should never touch a drop of alcohol because you have a genetic predisposition. If you have a family history of, certain types of cancer, like lung cancer, why would you ever smoke a cigarette? Mm-hmm. Or heart disease? You have a family history of heart disease. Why would you ever smoke a cigarette? If you have a familial predisposition to type 2 diabetes, why would you allow yourself to get fat or eat too much sugar? I mean, it's the knowledge that you're able to generate of what might come in the future. And there's an amazing chapter on genetics and how we can predict the future for your health, but then also how you act on it. And this book gives you the knowledge. Okay, say you don't know that much about type 2 diabetes and how to eat to prevent type 2 diabetes, but It's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
There's really, I have a focus group that comes to my office every single day. They're called my patients. And this book and my message has been honed year after year after year after year, learning how to talk to my patients, learning what works with them, what doesn't work with them, asking them what kind of chapters they would want to read, what's important to them. This book really has been in the works for 25 years, but it took me about 2 years to write it. Me and 60 of my physician and men's health expert colleagues, right? Because it's not one of those books where one person knows everything. I know what I know. I'm an expert in sexual medicine and muscular rejuvenation,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not an expert in cardiothoracic or vascular or dermatology or ear, nose, and throat or sleep or podiatry. I mean, there's everything in this book.
Well, maybe not, but listeners, Dr. Brandeis has been recognized for his excellence as a urologist, holding the post of Chief of Urology at John Muir Hospital for 8 years, and was chosen by San Francisco Magazine as a top urologist in the San Francisco Bay Area for 7 years running. It's hard to knock off, and as a sexual medicine expert and educator leading courses all around the country, he approaches the subject of male sexual wellness with enthusiasm and an ability to explain complicated topics in ways that the listener and reader can understand. In fact, Grady Harp, another heavy critic, MD, Amazon Top 50 Hall of Fame reviewer, he gave it 5 stars, and he quotes, "This is a mighty volume. Everything men should know about physical, mental, and psychological health, all delivered with authority. Excellent support by specialist colleagues, caring and compassion." And the book is medically and scientifically accurate. That's important. It's very accessible, engaging, and inspirational. How long did it take you to, I think you mentioned it, how long did it take you to write this, Doctor?
Yeah, I had to close my office in March of 2020 because of COVID. And I decided that I would use my time to write a book. And I started out by writing a 250-page book, and it just kind of grew. Now it's over 900 pages, 101 chapters. But really, it's the most complete and medically accurate men's health book ever written.
Well, you know why? I mean, folks, in this book, you find a practical guide, to men's health and discover. Let's look at some of the topics. The most common health causes of premature death in men, smart ways to reduce risks, principles of nutrition and exercise and how to fuel and strengthen your body, and this is without injury, coping with mental health struggles and addictive behavior to increase the quality of life, how to continue looking good through midlife and beyond, the impact of good relationship skills on men's health and overall well-being, and then there's techniques and strategies to continue enjoying mutually satisfying physical intimacy. Specifics on prostate health, there's a big one, testosterone, circumcision, vasectomy, and fertility, and how to navigate healthcare systems and understand health insurance, and an insider's view on how to find a specialist to make the most of your trip to the doctor. And last but not least, in front of me anyway, the health effects of gratitude and how to leave a legacy that inspires the next generation. Did we leave anything out, Doc?
Oh, there's an amazing chapter on what men need to know about menopause.
Well, that comes into psychological, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there are so many pitfalls in life that you can fall into. Even if everything's going well, you're 56, your wife's 54. One day you come home and where's my wife? What have you done with my wife?
Yep.
And if you don't understand what menopause actually means and what happens, and you're not supportive of your spouse, that could mean that your marriage goes in a different direction.
Well, there are many men's health and fitness books on the market. In a nutshell, what would set the 21st century man apart from these books?
Most men's health books are about food, exercise, and sex, right? But we're not cavemen. There's so much more to life than food, exercise, and sex. And the Harvard longevity study really shows that the quality of your mental health and your relationships is so critical, the most critical thing. And we have two incredible sections on mental health and relationships. In addition, our chapters on health insurance are really incredible.
Yeah.
The health insurance system in the United States is so messed up and it's so complicated. And this chapter really helps you understand what's a PPO, what's an EPO, what's an HMO, what's a deductible, what's the difference between Kaiser and non-Kaiser. You have, in order to navigate the health system, you have to understand how to use your health insurance. And women understand that a lot better than men because they have babies, so they have to go to a gynecologist, and a lot of them take their kids to pediatricians, whereas doctors, men, even intelligent men, first of all, they don't even know where their health insurance card is. And then I have patients who have PhDs that don't even know if they have a PPO or an HMO and what the difference is.
Oh, crikey, if they don't know, how the hell are we supposed to know? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And this chapter that I wrote on how to make the most of your physician's visit is incredible. It teaches you got to go into your physician's visit prepared with your medical history, with your labs, with your imaging study, with a description of why you're there and a list of your questions. Because if you don't, at the end of those 16 minutes and 14 seconds, you're going to be disappointed. And maybe the doctor won't make the right diagnosis because you haven't given him all the correct information.
Yeah,
so you have to view.
It's an effort. You've got to make an effort, right?
Yeah, well, not only just an effort. It's got to be a partnership. The days of physicians standing on the top of a mountain, kind of talking to patients are over. With the internet, you have access to a tremendous amount of information. Well, and it's really important to be a partner with your doctor. Not a subject.
You're right. And speaking of information, Jessica Tofino is an educator and a writer. She's another one that gave you 5 stars. She says there is information in this book that is helpful for every part of a man's body and life. Brandeis has outdone himself in compiling a singularly robust resource that empowers men to journey with health, strength, and vigor. Doc, you'd have to be happy with these critiques I've shared, wouldn't you?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I'd say you'd have to be happy with these critiques that I've shared with you. What we've talked about today. They're very good. The book is good. Really, you take the good with the bad, and a big pat on the back for you. You say it's important to remind yourself that you have the power to make significant changes in your health risks. Now, there is strength in taking action to reduce the risks, and if we are struggling, we need to become proactive about our health. At the end of the day, we really owe that to ourselves, don't we?
Absolutely. That's the way to get the most out of life.
The book
and as far as I'm concerned, we only get one chance.
The book is The 21st Century Man. The 21st Century Man. It's written in an accessible and engaging style. It's loaded with comprehensive scientific and factual information that you, men, and their partners need to know. So when you've read it, give it to the missus and say, do me a favor, darling, please have a read of this, will you? Dr. Brandeis compassionately encourages men to actively engage in a journey toward a health that equips them with the tools and knowledge needed for that endeavor. Well done, Doc. The book, let's hope it gets into the hands of many, many men, as there's no doubt it will help many who read it. Speaking of that, where can one buy it?
If you go to the 21stcenturyman.com, so just written out as one long word, the 21stcenturyman.com, you can get the ebook, you can get the hardcover, and very soon we'll have an audiobook out.
Oh, cool. Ebook and the hardcover and the audio. Are you doing the audio?
I did the audio for the important parts. So the sexual medicine chapters, and then I have a narrative that runs through the book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did the personal narrative.
Cool. All right. We're about to close, so I want to ask you a couple of things. In fact, what 3 things can men do today to begin to take charge of their own health journey?
Yeah. First of all, purchase and read the 21st Century Man. And it's a really long book. You don't have to read every single chapter. Pick and choose the chapters that are relevant to you, and maybe throw in a couple of chapters of things that you're interested in. Be proactive about your health. It's much easier to avoid a problem than it is to fix a problem. And there's no shame in admitting that you have a problem. Men are taught to be strong, to ignore, to shake it off. But in the end, you're so much stronger if you take care of your health problems proactively, and you can be strong and be present for yourself, for your family, for your workplace, and for your community.
And last but not least, what great lesson do you hope readers will really learn from reading your book?
Yeah. I keep coming back to the hero's journey. You are the hero of your own journey. Tiger Woods has his own journey, and Tom Brady, he's got his own journey. You have your journey, and the only person that can create a great impact in your own life is you. And so if you take really seriously the advice given by these 60 physicians and men's health experts in this book, you'll maximize your own potential and the enjoyment of your own life.
Well, there's nothing like a good book, and this one's a ripper. The 21st Century Man, right? And it's written by Dr. Judson Brandeis. So where do I get it, Mark? Where can I do it again? I didn't get it before. All right, get this down. Got your pen ready? https the21stcenturyman.com. You could probably get there with just doing www. All right, the21stcenturyman.com. Now, isn't it going to be on Amazon and stuff?
It'll also be on Amazon.
Okay.
But we love it when people come to our website because we provide a lot of additional information on our website. In addition, all of the authors' bios will be posted on our website. So if you're interested in the work of a particular author, you can follow up with that particular author.
That's a good idea. Well, I wish you all the best in the world. I mean, it's like an encyclopedia, as was said before, of everything you need to know. And, you've put years into it, years of knowledge, and I congratulate you, and I hope it's a big bestseller for you.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me on.
You're most welcome. Dr. Judson Brandeis, ladies and gentlemen. You heard him here on Mark Bishop Media in Nothing Like a Good Book.